We also have a criminal defense attorney, Michael Bachner, who should be joining us right now. Thank you so much. We have so many questions for you, so we really appreciate it. I would love to know from your criminal defense experience what you make of Judge Ho's decision.
I think in some ways it's a little bit surprising that it was dismissed without prejudice, but I can see the reason for the court's decision. There is a fear that the Department of Justice, if they keep a criminal charge hanging over the head of a public official, that they could use that for leverage in many ways to get results that really, it furthers the idea that the Department of Justice may be leveraging its power over an elected official. And I think the court had the main reason. The court wrote a 78-page decision. This is a long and detailed and very thorough analysis of the issues. The bottom line, when you sift through all of it, is the Department of Justice simply said, we're not going to prosecute the case. We're not going to bring it to trial. And the judge is saying kind of like, what am I supposed to do? Force them to try the case? Force them to bring it to trial? He can't do it. And he ultimately decided he just didn't have the power to induce them or coerce them to do it. And dismissing the case with prejudice and putting this whole thing to bed is the best way to proceed with it. And ultimately, I think the court was saying, you know what, let the voters decide. I'm sorry, there's a train coming by, I apologize.
No, Michael, that's all right.
But ultimately, the court was saying, let the voters decide about what's going to happen here. If they elect him, they elect him. If they don't, they don't.
And so, Michael, thank you so much for jumping on. And clearly, you are live. This is all breaking for us right now. And we love having your conversation on this. So this does finally put it to bed. There's no other charges that come out. The voters get to make the decision. This is done and done right now.
That's correct. The case, once it's dismissed with prejudice, that is it. It cannot be brought back. This charge is dead. Now, look, that doesn't stop the Department of Justice if they wanted to. It doesn't seem they're inclined to do that. If there was some additional criminal conduct that the mayor engaged in that's unrelated to this, it doesn't stop an additional charge from coming back in the future. But it's clear that this Department of Justice, under this president, under this attorney general, they have no interest in proceeding with this case, and they're not going to proceed with it. And the court, can you imagine a trial in which a court says you have to do this, you have to do that? The court doesn't have the authority to do that, and its hands were kind of tied. The only real issue is the dismissal with prejudice, whether that was appropriate or not. And frankly, the court's rationale in this very, very detailed opinion, I think, was a strong support for what he did.
Strong support for what he did. So let me just ask you, just as a defense attorney, what do you think voters will take away from this? Now that we say, hey, it's done, what do you think voters are going to take away?
Look, the charges against the mayor were extremely serious. These were not like bogus, silly charges. These were very serious charges. They were not, unlike the Menendez types of charges on some levels. So the way the voters are going to take away from this is, are people in power as a result of an affiliation? Do they get different considerations than other people do? The court in his decision was very clear that he thought that there was plenty of evidence to support the proposition that the mayor had a quid pro quo understanding with the Department of Justice that, you help me with my criminal case and I'll help you with my immigration policies. And the DOJ was arguing out of both sides of his mouth saying, well, even if that's true, they still have the right to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Sure. And then saying that wasn't the fact either. But the court was very clear in his opinion. Nothing he said, in my opinion, justifies what the conduct was here, and I don't opine on the merits of what occurred here. He believes that there was evidence to support the charges. He just unfortunately was of the position that he could not induce the case to proceed forward.
All right, thank you so much, Michael Bachner, defense attorney, for giving us some perspective into this. And we did just get a statement from the attorney for Mayor Adams, Alex Spiro. Here it is on the screen. It says the case against Eric Adams should have never been brought in the first place. And finally today, that case is gone forever. From day one, the mayor has maintained his innocence, and now justice for Eric Adams and New Yorkers has prevailed. That, again, is from Alex Spiro, the attorney of Mayor Adams.
We will certainly have more coverage on this, but one thing I do think we should absolutely reiterate, that this judge made this decision not based on the merits of this case at all. So, of course, we're going to keep you up to date on all the latest. You heard from the mayor's lawyer. You're going to probably hear from the DOJ, and we'll have the very latest for you.
Yeah, but bravo to our team who, as this story broke, got you all the best information and officials that we could get quickly to the set. There will be a lot of conversation about this all day long, so I hope you'll stay with us on that.